Welcome to another episode of the Bimmer Podcast. I'm your host, Gordo. Of course, my co-host, Flacco, is right here next to me. We're still back at M&F Auto. We're part two. Welcome back again.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thanks for having us again.
Now, Mike, I know that you also build motors and you're also a fabricator. And I see a couple of examples here. What exactly can you do?
Custom turbo kits, roll cages, any type of fabrication, really.
So any...
Front ends, rear ends, chassis work, control arms, custom control arms, subframes.
So sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit.
All right.
Whatever
And with your manifolds, do you actually you're able to flow test them and get results?
Yes.
And in comparison to the pre-made ones that are out in the market today, where do they stand?
So on Oxcar, for example, the manifold that I built for Oxcar, we've noticed that it spools 500 RPMs quicker than most of the leading competitor brands out there.
Okay.
That has to do with runner design, runner sizing, port matching. There's a lot that goes into the manifold. It's not just cutting, putting a pipe from here to there. The collector design, the size, everything plays a big effect into that.
How long does it normally take you to put a manifold together for a customer, per se?
Depending on how big the turbo is and how much room I have, it could be anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to, something like Martin's car. It took me like 2 months on just working on the manifolds.
Martin's car is the one with the both turbos sticking out of the freaking hood?
The black M4 with the turbos at the hood.
Get out of here. That was you that built that?
Yeah.
So remember seeing RK Tune at Impact, I think it was last year.
That was the first event that
the
car went to.
With same thing with 2 turbos set up sticking out from the hood. But which I didn't know, it was that you guys built that setup. So, I know we were talking behind the scenes before about that. Why not to have any recognitions when you guys build that setup? And I know Joshua was saying that he brought you that project for you to do in 3 days. Do you have any type of way that he didn't give you any shout out there? You know what I mean? So if you're the builder, and you make it happen, the project in such a short time, and in only 3 days, you still make it happen. Like I always say this, why not to give a shout out to the people that are supporting you and the people that are working together with you? How do you feel about that, though?
Yeah, what the fuck's up with that bullshit, bro?
So a friend of mine from LabWorks Customs had approached me, is how this whole thing came into play. He said someone's looking for a manifold to be done. They want to take their car to Impact the following weekend. So I said, all right, put me in touch. It happened to be Jordan. So we spoke on Sunday about getting the project started. I went to his shop on Tuesday, and we started mocking up the parts in his shop. I brought everything back to finish weld. Wednesday I went back with the manifolds. Then we worked on the wastegate placements, because obviously wastegate placement is a huge factor in this. So I worked on the wastegate placements. The goal was to get the car to Impact so that it can run. And, he wanted 2 turbos sticking out the hood. So that's what we did. At that point in time, there was no really talks about like what the car was going to become, once he finished building the rest of the car. It was just to get the car to the show. You know what I mean? So
that wow factor.
Yeah, the big wow factor, So I did the kit in 3 days. Obviously, when you do something in 3 days, it's not going to be the best work, So it was not the best looking kit, but we do know that it worked.
But everyone admire though, because I'm not sure if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen any other S58 with two turbos sticking out from the
Definitely
hood,
not.
right?
That's
So
not as far as we know. No,
I haven't seen
no.
not anyone on the nation. I don't even think in UK, because also I know UK is like big on BMWs, and that's my thing. Why not to give a shout out to the guy who made it possible in 3 days?
At the end of the day, I can't really answer that question. I don't know. I do know what I can say. It's not like we worked out a price where he was going to give me a certain amount of recognition for any type of discount or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I know what I did. I know what I made. I know what the car did, and that's what I rest my head on at the end of the night. And I don't need someone's name to help me do what I'm going to do, because I'm going to do what I'm coming to do, regardless.
With that setup, he broke the record.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, right?
Right, he was the first S58 in the sevens, if I remember correctly.
Which it was.
What size turbos were they?
I believe there were Gen 2 6062, if I remember. It was either 6062 or 6266. I mean, sorry, 6066. I think there were 6062.
Okay.
Which it was fabricated by you guys, by MNF.
The manifold, yes.
The manifold was done by you guys.
So the manifold I did first. He took the car to Impact, and then he brought the car back a second time, and that's when we did an air-to-air conversion. So we got rid of the factory intake
Intercooler,
manifold.
yeah.
But he used a Wagner air-to-air manifold, and I did the intercooler piping, the merge pipe for the two turbos, and mounted the intercooler.
But not even the second time that he came in, give you a shout out.
No.
To this day, he hasn't gave a shout out.
I think on the first release of the video on YouTube, I think he put my name as like the fabrication shop in the
Okay.
YouTube video.
So at least
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that,
he give you a shout out there.
yeah, I think that was the first YouTube video that came out
Okay.
on that car.
I mean, me personally, he wants to give a shout out, he don't want to give a shout out. I don't care. Now, from my point of view, if someone helps me with something that I like, Michael's gonna build my turbo gear for my M54. I'm not gonna say, or just even though it's still on the same roof at MF Auto Performance, right? I'm not gonna say, or just us home build a manifold too, or I'm not gonna leave his name out. Michael himself built my turbo kit.
It's a collab, and credit to where credit is due.
Right. But that's just me. Everyone thinks differently.
There was also other areas of the car where there was other people involved in certain aspects, like whoever built the person who built the engine on that car. That I know I can say that built the engine the first time for that car.
Okay.
That person didn't, to my knowledge, didn't get credit either.
Right. Right. And I know because that person was on the way there, and he's not from New York, to drop it off there. He hit me up himself.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So
Well, it is what it is, right? Sometimes it's a little bit sad to see things like this, but
Regardless of the situation, like I said, I'm gonna do what I came to do.
Right.
Somebody wants to give me a shout out or not, I'm still gonna do my thing.
Well, it's a testament to your work. I mean, if you could put a complete out-of-the-box turbo manifold in 3 days, or 3 long days.
The
and 3
manifold
nights,
was the 3 days.
it by itself.
Yeah, the manifold, and then what we did was, to get the car to the show, we kind of like mocked up intercooler pipes that we could,
All right.
just to get it to start. The car came back a second time, and that's when I did the intercooler piping.
Intercooler.
And I will say, on one of the charge pipes I made, there was 1 or 2 pinholes on it, which I offered to fix. Obviously, I said, just let me know. I'll come back. I'll fix it. I'll pick up the parts. Whatever it is.
I
So,
mean,
it's not like my outcome was perfect either. You know what I mean? But we make mistakes. I was willing to fix it, and he said, "Don't worry about it. The guy I have here, he took care of it."
all right. Well, let's move into the next question now. As you guys can see, as the audience can see, most of this was fabricated in-house. Am I right?
Yes.
Can you give us a little bit more of details on everything that you got here? And also, what's the goal on this S58 that we got here? What's the ultimate goal that we have for these X3M?
So the goal for this X3M is to have the fastest X3M on the planet, period.
And with that being said, we're not running the biggest turbo compared to most people. Okay, as I had mentioned in the last podcast, I'm not focused on peak power, because you could have a peak power that's like this and then falls off, and then you could have a broad power band. That
That's
broad power
continuous.
band, you shift, that car still in boost. Not only is it in boost, it's still within that peak range where you want to be at, and you're going to run quicker times. That's where Michael and I are focused on.
What have you done to the car to get to that point?
Well, we've proven it, Oxcar, we've proven it when he ran the 8.9 with a crappy 60 foot and chopped 158 mile an hour with just 900 horsepower. You understand? That proves a lot right there that you don't need. And also, Fake's 5.0 car, which is the 440, we proved it with that car. We have around 780 horsepower. He ran a 930 with 149 on the street.
Oh, so you guys are definitely making the sauce.
Right. So it's proven that broad power band helps over a peak power band. You understand? Peak power bands are for the guys that want to scream, "I got the biggest." We don't care about that. We got. It is what it is. Too many people are so damn focused on.
On
Who-
a high,
yeah.
the last number that shows up flashing on the screen.
Right, and the whole new thing now is that the whole BMW platform. Well, this is even the M54 times when the M54 was out. Everybody wants to have a dyno queen.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, they go make passes now. That's the difference between M54s back then and now. Most of the people are making passes. But everybody now is putting their cars on hub dynos. The hub has less rotational mass to move, so you're going to see higher horsepower. You understand? Or they're taking it to dyno comps versus that dyno jet. For example, I just saw a G80, I think it was last night. I got to send it to you, Michael. Made 890 something horsepower on stock turbos. They don't make that. On a dyno jet, you put it on a dyno jet, you put in an STD correction, so smoothing 5.
Yeah.
You're gonna see somewhere in the high 700s. You understand? A maxed out setup.
So if somebody really wanted to fake the numbers,
So you go to dyno comp.
yeah, or you put it on a hub dyno.
Oh, yeah, correct. Understand? So we're not focused on that. We don't care about that. You guys want to be.
Also, if you're using a hub dyno and the car's in rear-wheel drive mode,
Yeah.
now you have less
parasitic.
loss.
Yeah.
You have less parasitic loss.
So it's safe to say your mission here at MNF is to build cars that have usable long-term power and not just peak.
Well, if you look at the name, it's MF Auto Performance. We focus on performance. We're not here to wishy-washy give you fake data and make you happy, and then you get beat by somebody else on the road that's making less power.
So it's safe
And it
to
also
say.
depends, what does the customer want? What's the customer's goal? Do you want a car running fast drag times? Do you want something you can autocross? Do you want something that's a daily driver
So
that
you'll cater
quick
to
spool?
the customer.
Right.
All right. That's awesome. I mean, at the last thing you want to really do is be a fucking rub and tug place, and some kid just wants to come in. I want the highest horsepower, and then off you go.
Correct.
And we see it a lot. We see it a lot in the internet.
You also, I think, where a lot of shops fail is you have to read your customer also. If I have an 18-year-old kid come into the shop and he says, "Yo, I want my car to have 1,200 horsepower," have you ever driven a car with 600 or 700 horsepower? I don't want to give you a 1,200 horsepower car that you're going to go out and kill yourself in. You know what I mean? 1,200 horsepower is a lot different than 900 horsepower.
There's 300 more ponies.
But it seems
You
for
never
some
felt
reason,
that
like
much
once you
in
pass
your
that
life, huh?
1,000 horsepower mark,
I haven't.
it's way different after. Like every 100 after 1,000 is completely different than like going from 7 to 8.
Especially in an
I
overdrive
see.
car.
Right.
Because
I'm just listening.
Oh, my bad.
I'm just listening to
Michael-
this.
He's awestruck right now because his M4 never hit over 400 horsepower.
Oh my God.
I got a S55. I don't got a B58.
You know what the
No,
problem is there?
S55.
It's the driver, it's not the car.
I don't know about maybe I don't know about that, but his M4 hasn't been in here yet.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh,
There's that.
papi.
So you want 800, 900 wheel horsepower on a stock motor? We'll give you that. Stock motor, we'll give you that.
On a S55.
On a S55.
Yeah.
Proven.
With a pin crank hub.
Yes,
we'll
yes,
definitely
of
give
course.
you that. That's without a doubt. I could never make it happen.
S55, bone stock engine.
Stock pistons, stock rods, stock cams, no head port. The head never comes off. We'll take out the valve cover, plug the head ports, for PCB system purposes, and we'll give you 900 wheel. We have our own little secrets behind how things work, but we'll make it happen.
We can't give the sauce. So
Not all of it.
So wait. So one of our member just spent like literally, I would say 40, 50,000 on his S55, building his S55. So he should have saved those 50 bands because he just built his engine, right? So like literally, because I think he's gonna push him between 850 to 950. So like literally, I can be pushing almost the same amount of power without spending 40, 50 rack. That's what you guys are saying.
Right. I will say this: your power band is not going to look as beefy as his.
Yeah.
Okay. There's reason for that to keep the motor alive, but you'll have a nice little power band to play with and have fun, not having to dump all that money into the motor.
So I want like 750. I'm comfortable.
Okay. Yeah.
750.
As long as he can outrun the ice guys.
That's easy.
Oh man.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Don't make me talk. Do not make me talk. On the way here, what happened?
You
No,
fucking,
no, what happened?
You got a phone call and
What
you said
happened?
your torta was fucking.
No,
she
no,
fell
no.
flat.
No,
and
you listen.
she said that your lima beans were too small for her.
Listen, Linda. Don't make me talk.
Don't make
Do
me
not
talk.
make me talk.
I know your secrets,
okay,
bro.
Okay, I know your secrets too. So, oh my God. Okay, so obviously my F82 is coming here, no matter what. Once the car is done, I already know the car is coming in here, and then it's gonna go straight to NJ to get wrapped up. But so everyone that have S55 out there, y'all know what you guys need to do. Go check them out on IG, MNF Auto Performance, and then that's it. If you guys want your car fast, where they need to come?
I mean, for the performance.
Only one way to do it, papi.
We're
Talk to me
actually,
nicely,
I
slow.
have a customer dropping off an M3 CS in like a week and a half. And we're going to give him exactly that. He's looking for about 850 stock motor.
How come everyone used to say before that the S55
Won't
won't hold 800, not even 800, and then you guys start building your motor.
They don't have an RJ.
Okay. All right.
And
Fair enough.
obviously the tuner plays a
A big role of it.
big
That's
role in
that's
it.
a big role, yeah, because I have seen so many S55 blowing up out there. So many.
Yeah, they
So
catch on
many
fire,
that I have
like
seen.
doing donuts. That's crazy.
Not just that, the freaking J Cloud9 when the one of the piston.
Oh,
came off.
Yeah, and like I got a phone call and I said, "Hold on, I'll be right back." I'll be right back.
Yeah. So in
Who put that
the
one
tuner,
together?
the tuner, we all know who put it together. So
Oh, we're
the-
not going there yet. That's the
not
next
yet.
episode, guys.
That's next episode. Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Ain't out of that one.
I don't give a fuck. I'll put it all out there. I live
he's
in
got-
Queens,
listen,
Bayside. You're more than welcome to come down the block.
So look, we're gonna bring.
You gotta cut that out.
We're gonna bring Jay's coming with his S55, super clean M4. But I also know his car is coming out from the shop, I think this week if I'm not mistaken. Then he's bringing the car straight to here just to double check
Everything out.
everything on that car. So everyone knows what's up. So what turbo setup are we doing on this S58?
This one's getting a 7480 with a 1.28
AR.
AR housing.
And how many pounds? So let me ask you a question. You have claims that you could put 900 to a stock block S55. So what exactly can you do with the B58 and S58 stock block? What have you done that will showcase the world that you can do what you say you do?
So we have Gen 1 B58 and a 900 stock motor.
Stock motor.
Stock motor.
I can't believe that. Most of our audience will say you're bullshitting.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, even with fake 50 when we ran the 930, that was only high 700 on that car, right? And literally after a gentleman took it apart, because I didn't take the car apart, because that car was put back to stock, because fake 50 bought a X4M.
Okay.
That's the car he has now. As I said in the last episode, him and his brother owned the 440, right? It's more of his brother. His brother's still driving it. That's still stock motor. That car was at 727 for over a year, to by Chris Contos, worked only by me. And then at 810, which the boost got turned down 2 pounds, like 780, 790. We ran 930.
And you're still dealing it.
For another almost a year.
Wow.
The car got taken apart, and literally I could show you messages of his brother hitting me up. Hey, RJ, can I come in to do this, and this to the car? And I also, when he brought it the last time, I made a video, put it on my story, grab a bore scope, and showed them there that the motor's still stock. Okay? And then the person that took the car apart, I told them, do me a favor, grab a bore scope, stick it in distance. It's not coming straight from me now.
Yeah.
If from somebody else, put it out there. The person said, oh, I don't think my bore scope is working. Is it true? I don't know. But you know, saying that would have been pretty cool as they saw the car being taken apart and put it back to stock, showing that it was a stock motor car.
Especially
that
running it over the course of a year and a half, 2 years at those levels.
Right.
Usually you'll see scoring in the block or a piston sort of chipped up.
The B58s, it's the ringlands that usually crack when you run too much boost to them.
Yeah.
So he was running the car for almost a year, 790, 810.
Yeah. No, so for a year, 727.
Okay.
And then for another year, around 780-ish, 790.
Bone stock,
Bone stock.
internal.
Bone stock internal. And
a
that
B58.
car went 60 to 130 on a bone stock transmission, full weight car, fake weights, I'm going to say somewhere between 250, 300 pounds. That's a fake weight. The 440 has the worst drag coefficient on a stock transmission, 5.0, 60 to 130. With no brake boosting and no anti-lag. Just straight step on it and they defy over. When he put the built transmission, because we wanted to push it too crazy on the stock transmission, during the quarter mile, which we usually, on or off of roll, we usually get about 0.2 to 0.4 faster, 60 to 130, while using anti-lag or brake boosting. During the quarter mile, he did a 4.6, 60 to 130 on a stock motor car. Stock motor Gen 1, because everybody says, oh, Gen 1 don't work. No, yeah, don't work. Same thing like F54s.
Y'all don't work is crazy. Y'all don't work is crazy. So that was on a B58.
That was on the B58. And it's same thing with, these rods are stronger than M54s, you understand? And people have shown these to make very good power. So if the piston ringlands are not breaking, then we all know that the problem is the rod. You understand? Keep the torque low. Damn, I just got it. Well, I said it in the last podcast. You know, that's a little secret right there. Just keep the torque low, man. And your tuner too. There's another thing there where I'm not gonna talk about that.
I'll say something about the tuners. We work usually very closely with Chris Contos from Motive. I am telling you right now, in the BMW platform, there is no tuner better than Chris Contos. Hands down. Any tuner you name, there is no tuner better than Chris Contos.
And we got
I
guys.
have seen him take brand new setups that there's no plug and play maps for them, that you can't just copy and paste. we take the car out, 0 corrections
On the first pull.
on the first pull, 0 corrections. The
And
way
it's,
he,
and
the
it's
way
just
he,
a startup map.
right, the way he
base map.
brings in the boost, he's not even aggressive on the timing because a lot of these tuners get really aggressive on the timing, and we all know that's not good. The way he keeps the power curve and the way he dials in these cars with us, there is no tuner better than Chris Contos in the BMW platform.
Shout out to him.
Period.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a real team to put consistent and reliable numbers out there. Just not throwing parts at it and saying, hope it sticks.
Right, right. So with Chris Contos, when me or Michael put the car together, doesn't matter who, you understand? Because Michael at this point does the same quality work on BMW as I do, you understand?
Ebony and ivory.
So I sent. Gino be wild. So when I sent Chris Contos that email, hey Chris, because I speak to him directly, I get the tune for me or Michael's customer. That first base map, it's a strong base map in the sense boost wise.
Out the box, yeah.
Out the box. But that's because he trusts us. He knows that car is not gonna misfire. He knows that car is not gonna be going lean and due to
The wiring's incorrectly.
all the reflex issues. The other night I was here with Michael over 12 hours on 2 reflex jobs diagnosing the issues that probably the 2 biggest shops in New York did them, and they couldn't figure it out. I was here, diagnosed everything, and one, they poked the DME connector too hard, spread the pin open. That was a bad connection there. The other one, what was the other one? The other one had 2 things. One that didn't connect the map sensor. Remember I showed it to you?
Yeah.
Was connected on the exhaust side cam sensor, the map sensor. Okay. And then they had the firmware with the hex not matching the bin,
Also, that threw it off.
and the tuner, which is Chris Contos, is going crazy over here, and it's because they just don't know how to upload something onto reflex. Understand? So multiple issues, but if you know what you're looking for, while you have the Tuner Pro open, and you know how to properly diagnose, look for continuity and all this other stuff, you figure it out.
Is it safe to say that M&F performance is not just a money grab?
If it was, and this is no hate towards anybody. Everybody builds their business the way they want to. If it was, Michael and I would have a shop car doing numbers already. We're not focused on our shop cars. We're not. Michael playing times. Should I just go by the JD now? Many times he's told me, bro, we care about our customers. We want to make the customers. Can you duplicate one customer's time in another customer and keep doing it? No one hit wonders over here.
I saw Michael grin. What were you thinking that when you were grinning just a couple minutes ago?
About the money grab?
Yeah.
If I was doing this for a money grab, things would look a lot different. I'll just say that. To a fault sometimes I put too much attention into builds that aren't paying what they should be paying, to a fault sometimes. Because it's not about the money grab. Like, I don't want your car to go out looking like crap.
So
I want the car to work.
You treat the car like it was yours.
Correct.
I got one question. So you were saying S55 bone stock, internal 900, B58, 8900. What about S58?
Same thing. Just gotta keep S55 and S58. In my personal opinion, keep the torque about the same on those motors, and M54 a little lower, and M55 a little lower. M54 and 55 I keep them about the same. S58 and S55 about the same. Engine 1, B58, all those 3. B58 Gen 2, you can run a little bit more torque. They are the same rods, but I'm not gonna talk about why is the reason you can run a little bit more torque on the Gen 2. But go ahead, do it, run it with your tuner. Now, if you're running 900 wheel torque on your Gen 2, I wish you luck. I mean, you could do it, yeah. Or how many passes you gonna get out of it is a question, you know?
Before it blow.
Before those. That ride will break. It's not if, it's when.
Okay, so stock for stock, you're saying S55 will compete with B58 and S58?
Oh, for Raw, yeah. For Digno, the DCT,
No,
you
yeah, no,
can't
but
get them
like
off.
motor wise.
Power wise, yeah.
Power wise
Yeah.
on a stock
Yeah.
motor.
Yeah, you want to hear something funny, right? DCT shift very slightly faster than the ZFA. It's very minimal. You can even see it in number one on the drag, right? But with that being said, the M3, M4, F series, right? Those cars come with a 346 final drive, right? A G80 comes with a what? 315. So which one has more acceleration through every gear? That's 55. You understand? So there's benefits, there's pros and cons to every car. There's pros and you just have to figure it out. Same thing, you put a ZFA and an M54 automatic that came with a 346 final drive. I'm sorry, for you Gen 1 B58 guys, yeah, y'all getting screwed, you understand? Y'all gonna get fucked. Excuse my language. Because it's a 346 final drive, the ZFA that could make the same powerful power, let's just say, full bolt-on M54 makes high 400 horsepower. Same thing as a Gen 1, right? Gen 1 is a 2.81 final drive. Then you have the M54 with a 346. The 346, the M54 346 is gonna walk that Gen 1 B51, I mean B58. The thing is that you don't see them out. People are not really doing the swap as much.
Right.
They should, but people are starting to move it. People always chase the hype. Wherever the hype is at, that's where they go. You understand?
Well,
So-
I understand that you also work on transmissions here.
Yeah.
And you build them in-house, or do you send them out to one of the companies out?
Customers' preference, but Michael.
Most of the times we build them in house. Sometimes you get a customer that they just want you to take the trans out and send it out. But for the most part, we do them in house.
Well, what have you seen as far as what's the best transmission out there? Can you let our informer viewers what to choose?
So honestly, from obviously I only see the DIY kits.
Okay.
They're all honestly really good. Pure has an awesome DIY kit. Actually, out of all of them, they have the most complete. Their kit comes with every snap ring, every bolt, every gasket, every seal, everything brand new. Deca, I think, has the highest quality in terms of the parts. They do also give you some of the seals. They give you oil pump bolts and stuff. ATS transmissions, their DIY kit's phenomenal, right up there with Deca. But ATS, in my opinion, has the best customer service. You reach out to Brian, and he has no problems getting back to you on any questions you have. And also Spool. Spool makes a really great DIY kit. Theirs also comes with seals, everything you need to put it back together. And their customer service is also top notch.
So like every brand has something good,
Yeah.
Right.
right? Like
Right.
Pure has something.
In terms of DIYs, there's really no bad kits out there that I could say.
It's just ultimately it falls on the installer. And
Correct.
The guy's gonna put it together.
Correct.
Right. Or at least on those top 4 that we know of. We are going to try a Datsun kit on one of our customers.
Oh, all the way from Australia.
Yeah.
We really want to try that kit because I know P-Tune is running that on their car. They rated as a stage 2, and it's holding a little bit. Well, it's holding more than what supposedly all these other 4 companies is capable of at a stage 3. You understand? But we will see, because everybody could claim something and it's not really the truth. So
Right.
we'll see.
It's always the hype that comes before.
Right.
I don't know. What do you have? What do you think?
No, because obviously, we saw, a transmission on the table, and I always ask Michael, how the heck do you remember everything to put all those pieces together? It's just,
It only goes one way.
it's just really crazy, bro. But
And it's not like you can't take like a D clutch back and put it in a C or an A hub. Like it won't fit.
It won't mismatch.
It won't fit. You know what I mean?
okay, I see. I mean,
So
It's like a jigsaw puzzle. It only fits
Right. It only. I mean, if you make it, you could probably make it fit another way, but
Okay. Can you explain a little bit more to us on this kit that you fabricate here?
Hey, yo, why you rubbing it like that?
Hey, yo.
Yo, Nesta, I didn't know you were into piping, bro.
Yo, no, not me. Bro, Michael is the one who's been touching this pipe all the whole time.
Why you getting tag team on the podcast for?
Yo.
Michael likes it because it's
Plus-
colorful.
so like I said, everyone who wants a
I'm
custom.
sorry.
Yo, he needs some dumplings. Just give him 2 dumplings. That's it. And we Gucci.
Okay, it's from this morning's conversation that got me wound up. I'm sorry, guys.
So like I said before, if somebody comes to me for a turbo kit, it's going to be catered to their specific need. So this customer wanted a turbo kit for a higher horsepower range. So on something like that, like I was talking about runner size before, when I have a high horsepower build, I use an 1.5 inch runner versus an 1.25 inch runner. If I want something to spool quicker or earlier, I use a smaller runner because the smaller runner increases the velocity of the air going through it. Also, port matching is a big play into that because as the cylinder fires and that specific cylinder is on the exhaust stroke and it's pushing that air out, you don't want it pushing air through another runner in the wrong direction because now you create turbulence in the manifold. So one of the tests I do on my manifolds when I finish them is I blow air through each runner and I keep a piece of toilet paper on the end of the
That way
other
you can see the
runners.
vacuum.
Correct. If it's done properly, when you shoot the air through one, it should suck the toilet paper through the other because it's scavenging air. It's helping to pull the exhaust gas from the other cylinder.
Wait. So we're giving a lot of the sauce to people. So don't get too excited. So let's. So where they can find these?
And then
How can they reach out to you and say, you know, hey, Michael, I want these for my S58. Do you also make this for B58? For which motor do you make these?
any engine, any car, any swap.
You'll
if you
make
want
it for.
I'll make a turbo kit. Yeah.
So you'll make a turbo kit for any engine out there, pretty much.
Yeah, Lamborghini, Ferrari, everything you want. Michael will make it.
As long as I can get the flange that goes onto the head, yeah.
What about this piping here?
Those are the dump tubes for the wastegates, and wastegate placement is also extremely critical on a manifold. If your wastegate placement's not correct, you're going to get boost creep because the air is not the exhaust gas isn't hitting the wastegate as it's intended to. Your ideal position for a wastegate on a turbo manifold in the collector to get as much of the runners as possible is at usually it's about a 45-degree angle. You want that exhaust gas almost directly directed to the.
What about the
To the
other pipe
wastegate.
over there, though?
That's the.
The fat one.
That's just the down pipe.
That's just the down pipe.
That's just the down
You also
pipe.
make them here.
Yes.
So-
And then another thing that's really important to me is the hardware. I can't tell you how many times you put an aftermarket turbo kit on a car and you can't reach the hardware. If you're making a turbo kit, all the hardware should be accessible. You should be able to comfortably get a tool in there and access all the bolts to tighten it.
Right. So some of these companies out here make turbo kits, and then there are studs where you cannot put a nut on. So that one stays out. And they say, oh no, it's good, it works, this and that. I'll tell you this much, we've taken a lot of turbo kits out of cars, and you will see the gasket is messed
blown
up
out
in
at that
on that
particular-
area. Yes. So I don't want to hear it. It works. We tried it for how many months? For how many years? You understand? Because it's only a matter of time. Do you use anti-lag in the car? Because anti-lag creates a lot of havoc, you know? You're gonna see problems if you're using anti-lag.
Yeah.
You know, so literally one of Michael's manifold, it takes me 5 seconds, 10 seconds to put it on a B58. You understand? It literally, I go like this, whoop, and it's on. I'm not there struggling, trying to get none of that, man. I don't know what some of these people are doing. It's
Would
just,
you want to name one of those turbo kits that, or keep it?
mm,
So that they should improve
Yeah,
their
product.
product, like on installation. You know what I mean?
I don't
Like,
want to hurt nobody's
If
business.
if you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
improve your turbo manifold, bring me the car. I'll make you a turbo manifold.
fair enough.
Right?
I get it.
We'll keep it at that.
Oh, so
And also the wastegate selection is also critical.
Yes.
On my kits, I use tile. I've found that we have found on other setups that we've done with other leading brand
they tend to leak
wastegates,
or
they have leaks. And with the tiles, we see the same amount of boost with a lot less wastegate duty cycle. A lot less.
Yeah, and which is amazing because then, especially for the cars off the dig, right? If your tuner is dialing in your anti-lag and you have a wastegate spring that's too high, now you're only limited to that being the lowest amount of boost that you
yeah,
can run.
you're limiting and you're capping off your ankle at that point.
Correct.
Right. So if you, let's say your tuner wants you to leave at 15 pounds, you have a 21 spring, you're gonna leave at 21 spring. Obviously, there's other ways to play around that, but why not do it the right way? You understand?
And again, that ties into the factor where the point of making power is to make usable power over a long course, over a long run, than just instantaneous.
Correct. And the fitment's also important. Metal expands and contracts. You know what I mean? The tolerances, all of that comes into play. And the life of the turbo. If that turbo is struggling to spool because you have a poorly designed manifold, you're going to shorten the life of the turbo as well.
Yeah, that turbo's.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's like I tolerate you all the time.
I'll place an order for a dumpling. Don't
Oh
worry
my
about
god.
Turbo selection is very important. just as dumpling selection.
it. I'll place an order for a dumpling. It's crazy.
Be lightly brown.
So,
I didn't shave, so that'd be kind of tasty.
my God. So,
You can cut that. You can cut that out.
no, Mike, don't cut it. Don't cut it. Don't cut it. Don't cut it. Just leave it there. No, just leave it there. The order for 2 dumplings. You guys are. This engine is gonna be built, fully built, right? And I know you guys, as you guys mentioned before, that you guys are trying to break the record for the SVT for the SUV.
Right.
What size tires are you running? You guys running on the back, or is that like preference from the owner? Or
So me and him are gonna work on that. So just like I did on Martin's car, I go to the back. I measured everything this so we could get. If we need to get a custom rim, proper offset to get the most meat back there. Pause.
wait, hey yo, the
Wait.
most meat is crazy.
It goes with the dumplings.
We're gonna go ahead and do that, right? So same thing with the 540s.
Why you gotta mention the meat, my G?
It's chorizo.
It's chorizo. That's salami.
Same thing with the 540s. Nobody was running 315s back then. So I have a customer named Dwayne. I measured everything on his car. We send the spec to a custom B-Lock rim maker, and they tailor to us, you know. And he has a 315. It doesn't stick out. It's beautiful, and that's amazing because those spindles on those cars, unless you swap out the spindle for another one to run a smaller rim, you need that width of
So
the tire.
it makes a difference when you say you build a car. You build a car. Everything from nuts to bolts, you take that into consideration.
You guys really take the time to do some stuff that I haven't heard any other shop mentioning it, to be honest. Like, literally, a lot of the stuff that you guys are saying are the first shop, like, mentioning some stuff. for the audience out there.
Yeah.
If you're a performance shop, how could you not be able to customize for your customer specific needs? You you know what I mean? Like you can't do certain things with just bolt on parts. So if you're really a performance shop and somebody wants a race car, 100% you're gonna have to customize things on it. What works for him is not gonna work for someone else.
Yeah, yeah. It gets. Me and Michael were talking about this the other day. Everybody nowadays runs a cookie cutter setup, you know. And
Fisher
unfortunately,
Price. Fisher Price kit, bro. Downpipe tune.
And unfortunately, the BMW platform makes it incredibly easy because it's such a well designed chassis. The fact that you can put bolt on parts on a Supra and run, you know, sevens is ridiculous. You know, back in the day, 10 years ago, just to get in the tens, you know, you were chopping your car in pieces.
And you were
Custom drag
H22
setups,
and an H23 block. And
oh, we're doing all type of
ridiculous
stuff, yeah.
things.
All type of stuff, yeah.
A lot of these cars are doing this on stock suspension.
We have a Aki's G82, which I think Nestor's probably will be doing a podcast with
Yes,
him
yeah,
at some
yeah. He's
point.
gonna.
That car in 20, I'm not sure if I said it in the last podcast, but that car in 25-degree Fahrenheit temperature, okay, 0 to 10. If you know how to read draggy and you look at the guys that are cutting 1, 2 60 foots at the track, they're doing the 0 to 10 in about 0.2x seconds, okay? So 2.5, 2.2, 2.9, they're all in their area, right? Aki's car cuts at 0 to 10 in 25-degree weather, which is amazing. And we don't have,
it hooks.
yeah, it hooks. That thing hooks.
Especially
That thing hooks.
in the cold.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
Yeah.
And when he's in Mexico,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in Mexico.
Sometimes it gets cold over there.
And sometimes it gets hot.
Yeah.
Global warming, you know?
And I do want to say, we have a secret to make these cars hook. It's the cheapest mod he's done in this car. We did that with an $80 part.
I don't think you believed me when I first brought it up to you.
I did not.
No, shout out to you guys. What's the goal on that car though? Because I know he want to go crazy with the S58.
I'm not sure. I know Michael's gonna be working on his car again. He's gonna be bringing it in soon.
So, just like I said before, he never really wanted to go after a crazy record. He didn't want crazy power. He just wanted something that he could daily drive and that he could have some fun with. You know, when he wants to race it, he could race it. You know, he for a while he was using the car every day, and that's what we gave him.
Yeah.
And you know, for a car that's never lost a race, what more can you say? You know.
And still like using it as a daily.
Yeah.
If he wants, he could use it on his daily. Yeah. And that car, we could talk a little bit about his fuel system.
A little bit.
You can mention what he has.
That I don't know.
Okay. But
well, when people watch this, they're gonna say, "Put the proof in. The proof is in the pudding." Beamers United's coming up, and
He'll be there.
there's other shops in the area that also you're competing with. What do you have to say to those guys?
me personally, I'm not here to compete with anybody. I'm here to compete for myself, by myself, to prove something to myself that I could do. That makes me feel better. Okay. What everyone is doing, shout out to them, props, because I know everybody's trying their hardest to get somewhere, to grow their own personal business. Understand? So in that sense, I don't want to bash on nobody, but our numbers, pound for pound, horsepower per pound, it's proven. We've done it. You understand? Whether people want to believe us or not, that's on them.
Well, I feel like now that you guys are saying that, right? I just feel like people didn't really know you guys' name, but now that you guys are coming out from the shadow, because that's how I used to see you guys. Now people are really gonna know who are pinky and the brain.
It's ebony and ivory. Get it straight.
So now people are gonna really know who are the guys who has built some crazy cars like Ox, like RK, right? So Aki.
Yeah.
So now people are really gonna know what's up, where they can come if they want to build some crazy fast cars on the East Coast,
Or
not
if you
just
want-
New York.
Or if you want a show car.
Or if you want a show car. So so I feel like it's gonna be a lot easier, and also since you guys are gonna be more like coming more to more shows and everything, so I feel like this is gonna open a big doors for you guys. You know what I mean? And then
It's
a
not
lot
even
more.
that. I think the customers out there will have a better selection.
Yes, yeah. So I cannot wait for this. This is gonna be crazy. 2026 is gonna be insane. Obviously, huge shout out to you guys. For anyone out there that want to build their cars, hit me up or hit them up at the IG. I cannot wait for the E36 that Michael is building. RJ, Michael, I know this is gonna be crazy. And I also want to give a big shout out to all my sponsor, Triple C, MNF, Auto Performance, Empire Auto Work, CM Detailing, Cloud9, and obviously huge shout out to the media team, and huge shout out to my dumpling guy.
That's me. 2 thumbs, 2 dumplings. Let's go.
I think
Hey, yo!
I think they gathered that.
So, anything you want to add?
I can't wait to see what you guys put out in 2026 and beyond. I wish you guys the best of luck. When you start making power, we'll be there. April 14th,
12th.
April 12th. I'll see you guys in PA.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. And guys, M54, M55, M55 guys, please come to the shop. We don't have that many M55s. M55s work and they can make crazy power, okay? Do not listen to the media. If you guys would have been listening, if you guys keep listening to media, you guys are never gonna get ahead. S55, F55, S55 and B58s, Gen 1, Gen 2, all come here. We work on all of them.
Episode.
Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
Like, comment, subscribe. Anything else you need to
I
add?
just want to say thank you to everyone that is supporting us. Thank you to everyone that keep watching our videos. The support has been real. Since last year, we only been doing the podcast for 5 months, 4 months, right? 6 months, the most. And it's been amazing. I want to thanks to every single person that has been
A guest.
our guest. And right next to us, huge shout out to Mike, Lee Gallery. Thank you, everyone. Much love.